First, I'd like to introduce my co-host for the day. He's a great friend of the show, one half of Count It Out with Mike and Tyler. Please welcome Tyler Wolf.
Jonah, man, thanks so much for having me. I am so excited. I've got my rock and roll ready to go. I've been listening to Motley Crue all day. What a guest we have today, man.
Absolutely. What a guest indeed. And our guest today, he is a recent signee and a rising star that Ring of Honor has to offer, part of the Future of Honor division, and he is devoted to becoming the most bruising and devastating fighter in the business. Please welcome the Metalhead Maniac, Sledge.
What's up? What's going on, guys? Yeah. No, just kidding. What's up? What's up?
No, thank you so much for coming. I'm really excited for this. Tyler and I looking forward to it. And so it's awesome having you here, Sledge. First, I just want to know how you're doing, what you've been keeping yourself busy with.
I've been keeping myself super busy with my Twitch show, different podcasts now since I've officially made my Ring of Honor debut.
Right.
I've done a number amount of these things. I have at least 1 to 2 a day, which is cool, on top of trying to stay on top of my fitness and everything else I have going on. I try to stay busy. And I try to stay off the internet as much as I possibly can. So that's kind of one of those things. So
yeah, that's a good habit to have, especially now with everyone inside. I think everyone's screen time has definitely gone up considerably in the past few months.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
And speaking of what you just said, you just made your ROH debut, a very great match against O'Shea Edwards. So can you talk about that experience a bit?
Sure. It's been a long time in the coming. I've been now officially under contract with Ring of Honor for March 1st. Fucking cable. Stupid technology. I've been officially under contract with Ring of Honor for a year, March 1st, and I just re-signed for another year. It's been a long time coming. I was nominated as Future of Honor Star of the Year.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Congratulations on that too.
I appreciate
the
that.
accomplishment.
I wasn't expecting it at all. I really wasn't. And then I saw it on Twitter and I was just like, fucking badass.
Oh, that's how you found out? Just seeing it on Twitter?
That's how I found out it was on Twitter. Yeah. I was like, oh, badass. I'm Future Star of Honor. Right on. Cool. And then I caught a bunch of hate from that. Why is T? Why is this? Why am I not? Yada, yada, yada. It's whatever. Anyway. If people are talking about me, whether it's in a good way or a bad way, at least you're talking about me.
Exactly.
That's kind of the way I look at it. You know, the internet is so toxic, and if you're too worried about getting over on Twitter, you should worry about getting over with your wrestling career. And anyway, that's another whole other thing. But to get back to your question with O'Shea Edwards,
right?
A guy that I knew very, very well from the Ring of Honor Dojo, trained with him almost every day. So it was one of those that I knew what I was getting into when I was facing him. I knew that I was getting in there. I was going to be bruised up. I was going to get beat up, but I wasn't expecting it to go to a draw. I wasn't expecting time to run out with us. So we're going to have to see what happens after, the match has already been announced. The match has been announced that we are going to be doing it again. I just found out on week by week this last week that we are doing it one more time. So the internet's an amazing thing. You find out a bunch of information off the internet.
Well, I'll tell you, the fan in me is really excited to see round 2 coming. You guys really beat the hell out of each other in that first one. And, you touched a little bit about the Ring of Honor Dojo. Can you take us inside the dojo a little bit and just kind of what your day-to-day training was like in there, kind of who the trainers were, what they were teaching you guys, just to prepare you to get ready for TV?
There's a lot that goes on there. It's a well-oiled machine with Will Ferreira and Jonathan Gresham at the helm, man. It doesn't matter if you're a technical wrestler or you're a bruiser like I am. They're going to make you into what they need you to make you into. And that's bar none, all around good wrestler, whether it's technical, whether it's bruising, whether it's, they're very good at finding your strengths and finding your weaknesses as well, and trying to elevate your weaknesses to your strengths. Getting you ready for TV, knowing what camera to look at, knowing which way to go, watching a lot of film back. Like if you guys had indie matches over the weekend, we would watch the film so that you could see, breaking down psychology, and the list could go on and on the day of the day, man. But we would run a number amount of drills. We'd have guest coaches come in. It was a very, very awesome experience. And they were just so giving and so well, wanted to see you succeed. was the best way to put it. Is they all wanted to see you succeed. Jonathan Gresham and Will Ferrell are some of the best coaches in the world.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. He's a pure champion. Of course, he's going to teach you some of the best in-ring technique that you can listen to, eh?
He's the best technical wrestler in the world. He really is. He is. And I've been able to wrestle him in like dojo matches. And I've been able to have one-on-ones with Jonathan Gresham. He's now starting to get the credit that he deserves, because this guy has been a grinder for years. And for him to finally get the recognition that he is getting right now with the Pure division, being the Pure champion, being one half of the ROH tag team champions with Jay Lethal, is just absolutely just phenomenal to see. And he's really trying to take the company and put the company on his back and run with it. You know,
what would you say the best piece of advice that Jonathan's given you so far?
Be better. Be the best you can be. If you're not in there trying to be the best you can be to elevate other people to where you were at, then you don't belong to be in there.
Perfect.
Yeah. And so Sledge, I want to let the people know more about your journey headed to Ring of Honor, of course, being signed there, but you've had a long standing career on the independent scene before that. I think you started wrestling in 2011, right?
Correct.
So Can you talk about that journey and then all the way leading up to getting signed, how that felt for you?
Well, when you get signed, it's funny because you're like, you feel like, yes, I've done it. I've made it. I've made it to the big time. This is just everything.
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh shit, now I'm in there with sharks.
Yeah.
Now I'm in there with the top professional wrestlers in the world. And now you got to up your game even more. That's a scary thing. Because on the indies, you could be the biggest indie darling there is. Right? But when you come into a new place that have sharks like Ring of Honor does, the top talent in the world, that's a little scary. But then you realize that I'm here for a reason. I'm at Ring of Honor for a reason. There's a reason why I got picked to be here. So then that's why you show everybody why you're there. But to go back to your question, it took me a long time to get there, but I also took like a break in the middle as well. Mm-hmm. I haven't been wrestling for the full, I think 10 years. I had some addiction issues that I had to deal with, and then some depression issues that I was dealing with as well. So it wasn't a full on, I want to say my career really started taking off in 2017, I think is probably about right when I started really getting back on the indies and really starting to get my name out there more and more and more. So,
and when you were on the independent scene, who were some of those guys who elevated your career, like some great matches that you had that helped you get to where you are now?
Oh geez, there's so many.
I believe, yeah.
Geez, I've wrestled just so many people. I like on my wall, you can see like all the like.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can't see it, but this whole wall is done. But,
nice. That's awesome.
Anywhere from guys, number one, Gangrel.
Yeah.
I mean, my finish is called the Detox, and it's the Impaler DDT that was gifted to me from Gangrel.
Oh, that's cool.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, hey, man, do you mind? And he's like, go right ahead, brother. I said, I'm going to be using it on television. He's like, go for it. And I was like, thank you. Because I've always looked up to Gangrel. I've always looked up to him. And even when I was a kid in the Brood, I mean, him walked in and
walking out in the fire.
Yeah, coming up in the fire.
That was so sick.
Spitting the blood, hence the red. No. And guys like AJ Kirsch really helped me out. One of the tough enough competitors. Chris Masters. Geez, the list can go on. Willie Mack. I really have to give my hats off to Eli Drake, aka the LA Knight now.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a number amount of matches with that guy, and he's always been so good to me. And I've wrestled him so many times, and it's just one of those things where it's like I get in there and I just kept learning. I'm trying to look at my wall here.
It's a good reference right there. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding, eh?
Timothy Thatcher, Jody Christopherson, John Morrison. Every like bigger name you can think of that Sin Bodhi was huge in my career.
Oh yeah.
Kizarni.
Yeah. I could see the similarities too. Yeah.
He was huge in my career, man. I was technically in the wrestling business, married to him for like a year and a half. I wrestled him almost every single weekend in different towns, Mexico, you name it, we wrestled. And just learning from that guy, Bestia 666, Damien 666. Man, just a list could go on and on and on about who has helped turn me into the wrestler that I am today.
Well, it's cool that you mentioned some international travel there. You've done work in Europe with Paige's family, if I'm not mistaken, and then all the way over to Mexico. Can you kind of explain the differences of working every style, the Lucha Libre style, the European style, the North American style, and just how you've incorporated that all into your game?
You have to learn you adapt or die. That's kind of like that's kind of the saying, right? You adapt or you die. And that's exactly what I had to do with. I had to adapt. When I was in Europe wrestling their style is a very technical style. And what was so good about it, like while I was on tour there, is they were having classes. So I was able on my days off, because I only had like 2 days off. I think I had like Mondays and Fridays. And like I would wash my gear and then we would be back on the road Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, double on Saturday, triple on Sunday, off on Monday. I wrestled like 30 something matches while I was over there in like 30 days. The tour was ridiculous. Anyway, I got to go under the Welsh wizard, Jason Cross, while I was over there and learn more technique and be technical of a wrestler. And then when I was over there in Mexico wrestling with Symbodi and Psychosis, and, guys like that, they taught me that the Lucha Libre style. On top of that, Jonathan Gresham, no one knows this, but he's a great Lucha Libre guy.
Oh, wow.
So same with Delirious. Delirious is a great Lucha Libre guy. So I got to learn a lot of that stuff from them as well at the ROH Dojo, and just take what I learned from like Symbodi and Psychosis. Also from Mil Muertes. I've wrestled Mil Muertes multiple times. Ricky Madera is an amazing human being. Learning from him as well. Just all that stuff just kind of incorporates. You understand what I'm saying?
For sure.
You adapt or die. There's the best way to say it.
And you mentioned a lot of fantastic names that you've been inside the ring with, but how about some guys that have maybe helped you show you the ropes along the way when you're first breaking in? Who are kind of some of the guys that took you under their wing, kind of broke you in, showed you the do's and don'ts of the business, not maybe from a training standpoint, but helping you get bookings, helping just get your name out there?
Honestly, it's kind of a interesting story that you asked that. I've actually never been asked that on a podcast before, and I've done who knows how many podcasts I've done. It was kind of a fend for yourself kind of thing where I'm from. I'm from a very, very small area of professional wrestling. There's not a whole lot out here. There's a company that's called SinCal Pro that I helped start. And then there's another company, I think it's called Pro Wrestling Unplugged. But the guy who owns Pro Wrestling Unplugged is the guy who claims he trained me. And I'm going to put that in quotations. Yes, I was in his ring and I was rolling around in his ring, but he was never there to train me. So I got a lot of my training on the job. It was kind of like trial by fire. I only went to technical training for maybe 2 months before I had my in-ring debut.
Wow.
And then I was just on the road constantly. I had a look. I'm 6'3". I'm 200 something pounds. I had a mohawk. I had black eyeliner, black fingernails, fucking metal to the core, And I still am that, but I'm just kind of more of an adult, I guess, would be the best way to say. And people they're like, dude, we got to get this guy. We got to get this guy. He's pretty decent. We got to get this guy. And I would learn. Like Rick Luxury was another California guy who helped kind of put me in contact with people. And it was just one of those things where it just kept roading until like in 2000. Whose phone's on?
Tyler.
I'm just
Don't throw me under the bus, man. I got my etiquette on silent mode all the way.
Son of a. No, you do that to me. You do that. No, I'm just joking. Until I got like my WWE tryout in 2013. So you got to think that I started training in 2011, towards the end of 2011. I went and got into some alcohol addiction problems and so on and so forth. And then I had a WWE tryout in 2013, and that all started within like a year and a half.
Wow.
Wow. Do you want to talk about that WWE tryout a bit? Was that a good experience for you?
We can. To be honest, no. And it was my fault. It wasn't WWE's fault. It was my fault. Yeah. I was so under the influence of everything that I had a golden ticket and I ripped it up because I was so out of my mind with addiction and with the pain pills I was taking and all the alcohol and all the personal stuff I was dealing with at home, that I went in there and I thought, the minute I walk in, they're going to sign me. And then I realized I was in there with like the best of the best in the world. And it humbled me really, really quickly. I didn't come in shape, any way, shape, or form. I didn't really train for it, honestly. And it was one of those, hey kid, you're definitely not what we're looking for. You need to take this seriously, or you just get out of the business kind of thing. So they're very honest.
Right.
Is that something you kind of look back on now and use as fuel to motivate you to push your career forward then?
Absolutely, man. Because like I got a second chance at life. I wouldn't be sitting here today, man, if I didn't get the phone call that I got from like my best friend, who was my tag partner at the time. Like I would not be sitting here. I would be dead. Honestly, I was so bad that I would be like throwing up in the shower, but I'd be throwing up blood.
Wow.
I don't know if any of you guys have ever dealt with addiction or know anybody that's dealt with an addiction problem. It's not easy to just turn off, especially when you have everything that's going on at home and all the depression that I deal with and all that other crap that I deal with on a daily basis. It's not just easy just to turn right on off.
Right.
So, it definitely fuels me, especially where I'm at, because a lot of people don't believe I deserve to be where I'm at because I was an addict and I still am an addict. I'm still, I'm a recovering addict. I'm 6.5 years clean and sober, almost 7.
Congratulations.
And I appreciate it. Thank you. But a lot of people believe that I don't belong to be in Ring of Honor. I don't belong to be in the spot that I'm in because I was a mess up 6.5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And they think to themselves, well, why me? Why Sledge and not me? Why Sledge? Maybe you should look in the mirror and figure that out.
Yeah.
100%.
I busted my butt. See how good this HD camera is?
I don't know what that was. Like a little butt.
Yeah. You got a little gimmick in front of me. I was like, damn, this camera's great. No, I literally was working on the lighting the whole time before you called. I was like, I gotta get this right. Excuse me.
Does look good.
Thanks, man. I'm working hard over here, brother. Trying to make something out of nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's been my whole life, by the way, trying to make something out of nothing. And a lot of people believe I don't belong in the spot where I'm in. Well, you know what? That's their problem, not mine.
Yeah.
I busted my ass to get where I'm at, and I'm going to continue busting my ass to be the best that I can be in Ring of Honor. And that means me being the world champion one day, like it or not.
Absolutely. I think it's really
emphatic. Yeah.
I think it's really cool that you're so open about your past, and I hope that people can find inspiration in that. You've made such a huge turnaround. You're signed by one of the top companies in the world. Like, huge congratulations to you, man. I'm really happy to hear that you got it all worked out.
Thank you. Anybody can do anything and I preach this so much, man. I really do. And it's probably like people are like, dude, shut up. You can do anything you want in this world. Anything you want. If you're willing to put the hard work in, you're really willing to put the grind in. It's a grind. It's that what Edge says, that grit.
Yeah.
Mm. How bad do you want it? What are you willing to sacrifice for the wrestling business? The wrestling business doesn't owe you anything at all. What are you willing to sacrifice to make your dreams a reality? And that's exactly what I did. I sacrificed everything to make my dream a reality. And now I'm with one of the top companies in the world. And I'm just going to keep going up. 2021 is going to be a big year for me. Just watch out in 2022. I'm telling you, watch out.
I'm definitely going to be watching. And I love the intensity and the passion combined that's just coming off you. So I want to know now, before you head out to that ring and you brutalize your opponents, what is the pre-match ritual for Sledge? What kind of music is involved? What tactics? I'd love to hear how you are right before you walk to that curtain.
A lot of orchestra music. I'm just kidding. I listened to the Moana soundtrack. No,
a little bit of Frozen in there.
A little Frozen. You let it go. No, honestly, man, I'm really calm really chill.
Yeah.
I do listen to some metal. I listen to metal music, like some Kill Switched or whatever I
Right.
feel like putting on. It's when I turn. This is gonna sound so weird. When I turn Sledge on, because there's a switch.
Right.
You have to turn on to get in that mode of realizing that you're going to go into battle and you're going to go in there and you're going to get beat up, but you're going to beat up the other guy across the ring from you as well. So you have to turn that switch on. You have to forget everything that's going on back home. You have to forget about everything. You have to turn that switch on. And I turn that switch on right before, not even when I have my gear on, not when I'm about to, it's right when I'm about to walk out. I turn that switch on. The minute I go, I say a little prayer. I say, because my dad's who got me into professional wrestling, and he's no longer with us. He died when I was 12. I said us, got me into professional wrestling. I apologize. I said us. Right. Yeah. I always say a little prayer and I thank him. And I thank him for introducing me to professional wrestling, to hopefully he's proud of what I'm doing. And on top of that, make sure that I'm safe and I walk out of there safely and my opponent walks out of there safely. Mm-hmm. After that, I do like this little smack on the knees, smack on this, smack my face. I let out this big yell, roar kind of thing. And bam, now it's like game time. Let's go. You know, and then that's just now it's like I bring it to like Biker Boys. You guys ever seen Biker Boys?
I have not seen Biker Boys.
I haven't. No.
Okay. Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
When they're going, when Paul Walker's going super fast, when he's first hitting that NOS button and everything clouds out, but you just focus on what is right there in front of you. That's exactly how I am. Everything else goes away and I'm focused right there.
So you mentioned the flipping that switch, and you're the Metalhead Maniac, heavy metal, big energy. Is it a little more hard to flip that switch now with the lack of audiences? Because I know a huge part of what you guys do is feeding off of that energy that the crowd gives you.
You know how many dark matches I've had, bud? A lot. So, and you're just wrestling in front of the boys and stuff like that. No, because you have to realize something. Is we're a TV product. So I'm not just wrestling for the independent crowd that's out there. I'm wrestling for everybody that's watching at home. So that's my mindset. I'm going out there to perform for everybody that's watching me at home. Everybody that's watching me through this lens. And that is just as easy to turn it on as there's a crowd. It's just, there's just something. I have a job to do. Whether there's a crowd there or not, this is my job. This is what I'm doing. And have fun.
Yeah.
I have fun at my job. I like beating people up. It's fun. It's fun. So,
well, Sledge, we normally have a lot of rising stars on here. And for someone like you who has been on the journey and now you've made it, we've talked about it a lot so far that you've been at the bottom, now you're at the top, and that intensity is in full gear. Do you have any advice for someone who's just beginning that journey, or maybe they're in a similar spot to where you were years ago? Any advice to give someone like that?
Yes. It's number one, find a good wrestling school. I preach that. I didn't really come from a good wrestling school, but go find a good a wrestling school that has credentials.
Right.
The head trainer has some kind of credentials, has been to the dance. On top of that, think to yourself hard, really sit down and think. Shut your phone off. Just think, is this what I really, really want? Because you're going to sacrifice to make your dream come true. You're going to sacrifice everything sometimes. You're going to sacrifice birthdays. You're going to sacrifice anniversaries. You're going to sacrifice marriages. You're going to sacrifice funerals. Long drives in the car for little pay until you start getting notoriety, which could come or it couldn't come. It's up to what the company's looking for at that time. But if you're willing to really grind and put yourself in put yourself in a position to succeed. And no one preaches that. No one preaches that indie guys should put themselves in positions to succeed. Ring of Honor didn't look for me. I looked for Ring of Honor. I went to a show and set up the ring and busted my ass. And I was already a name on the indies. I could have taken bookings for money, but I chose to come out of my own pocket to go set up the ring. And that's how Ring of Honor got eyes on me. I set myself up to succeed. And I did everything I needed to do in Ring of Honor's eyes for me to succeed. Don't be afraid to go and just set up a ring somewhere. You never know where it's going to take you. Humble yourself. Sorry.
No, that was amazing. That was really well said. Definitely could see how the journey has taken you all this way. And really, again, congratulations on all your success so far. It's all grit, like you said.
If you want it bad enough, you're going to go get it.
Exactly.
That's it, man.
So I know a little bit prior to your wrestling career, you were in a band as a drummer, correct?
Correct.
Is there a lot of similarities in the world of being a musician and the world of professional wrestling? You guys are on the road a lot. Sacrifice also. Was it kind of an easy transition?
Yeah, they mirror each other. They really do. I'm a road dog at heart. I hate staying at home. I really do. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love doing this technical stuff and the Twitch stuff and making all my stuff look cool and all this fun stuff. But like, to be honest, man, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm meant to be on the road. I'm meant to tired nights and not be, sleep deprived and coming home on a Monday, leaving on a Thursday. I'm just meant to do that. I just am.
Absolutely. And while we're on the topic of music, I'm a big music fan. Jonah, I don't know exactly what your taste in music is. I've seen some of the big dogs, Metallica, Motley Crue. What are some of your favorite concerts that you've been to? Who's putting on the best shows, maybe in the past and in the current day as well? Well, maybe not in the current day since there aren't many concerts, but a little more recently.
Yeah. The last concert I went to was in Baltimore, Maryland, when I was still living there. I'm currently living back in California. We went and saw Devil Wears Prada with Gideon and what's the other band? I don't remember what the other band is. And it's like a bigger popular band. It wasn't The Used. It was somebody else, but it was just a killer show. Yeah. So good. I'm a huge Gideon fan. They're from California. I'm just like, hell yeah, Gideon.
Yeah, The Used is I've seen them. They're pretty awesome.
Yeah. I saw Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper put on a great show. Motley Crue I could have done without because I think they just phoned it in that night. I don't know.
I had a similar experience. I've seen them twice, and the first time I thought they phoned it in, and the second time Alice Cooper opened, and it was amazing. It was one of their final shows, so I think they were a little more dialed up for it.
I think I saw the same show when Alice Cooper opened for them. I was like, man, Alice Cooper should have been the head.
Yeah, no kidding. He was awesome.
That dude killed it.
And we can still have our wrestling tie-in because he was at WrestleMania 3, right? So.
Absolutely. And his guitar player is a huge wrestling fan.
That's right.
Lena Strauss.
Yeah, that's right. She's been on a bunch too, right?
Yeah, she's fantastic. I've seen Hatebreed, Slayer, you name them, I've pretty much seen them. I'm a huge concert junkie. Yeah, I love live music. I love live entertainment. So I'm a huge junkie I'll watch it on YouTube. Like I'll put it on my big screen. I'll just watch it on YouTube. Yeah. And even not even being there, I'm just like,
you get there's something special about that live energy, absolutely. Man. Even if it's a recording, on my Spotify, I'm listening to live stuff all the time.
Speaking of Spotify, good transition. My entrance music is now available on Spotify and all music platforms. It was done by a band called Death in Motion, and they're out of Las Vegas, Nevada. They're amazing. Short Term of Pain is what it's called. Download it, add it to your workout list. I guarantee you won't be disappointed.
Do you have it around right now? I was wondering, maybe we could hear a little bit. Do you have your phone with you? Or no, you turn it off?
I do.
Probably. I'd love to hear a bit of that.
No, I have my phone right here.
Perfect.
You could do it as a TikTok. You could do it as you name it. You can do it as.
I'll throw the link down below, but I'd love to hear it straight from you. Yeah.
waiting for the knee slap and the big scream, and we're gonna get full Sledge right now.
And the guy, the lead singer, his name's Beast. He's a professional wrestler, and his band.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he's a professional wrestler. His name's Beast. He is out of Las Vegas, Nevada. He runs Versus Pro Wrestling out of Las Vegas, Nevada. He's been a big influence in my life personally. And it was just one of those things where it was just like, yo, dude, your band's awesome. Will you write me an entrance song? Because if not, they would have gave me something generic.
Right.
And I'm like,
the Metalhead Maniac can't have a generic metal song.
No generic song. Come on now. You know, I did for Future of Honor when I did like 2 Future of Honor shows when I was living in Baltimore. They gave me some generic shit, and I was just like, it was hard to get pumped up to like some generic. Yeah, it was hard to get pumped up to some generic shit. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, when I got back home, because the teen shut down the world, I contacted him and I was like, yo, dude, like, I'm going to be making my debut soon. Who knew it was going to be a year later? I was like, yo, I kind of want you to write my entrance music. Will you do it? And he's like, yeah, man. Like, I know your story. I could kind of put it in. And it's literally like, if you listen to the lyrics, it's all about overcoming addiction and overcoming alcoholism and overcoming your demons and just, you know, the sacrifices and all that. Like, you really listen to it, like, you're just like, damn, dude, that's a banger. And I think people tweeted out more about the song than my than my debut, than my match. They're like, dude, that song's a banger.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I love that. It's so wrestling too. Yeah. Like, and good themes I feel like they're hard to come by nowadays. Like, you'll hear it once in a while, but like a real original song that works with the character, works with the persona. Yeah. Those are so
important.
It's really important. Yeah.
It's super important. Yeah. And if you can make that happen, man, and that's a cool thing about Ring of Honor, man, is they just give me so much creative control is the best way to put it. Like, the booker and my boss are just so, the booker is my boss. I have ideas and he's just like, yeah, man, sounds good. Let's go for it. And I'm just like, I don't have to fight. I don't have to.
It's so cool.
You know, let's just see what happens, you know, and cool. Sounds good. You know, a lot of the vignettes I've been doing, I've cleared with them to make sure I can do them. And they're like, yeah, man, go for it. Like, the more you can make yourself known to the world, please do so. And, you know, my Twitch following's going up and it's all good, man. I'm making a life, after wrestling is what I'm doing now is, you know, I got a couple more years, probably good 7, maybe, you know, we'll see how it goes. But I need a life after wrestling, you know, and that's
exactly after you win that world title. Yeah.
I'm retiring the same day.
Are you really? Is that's
so I'm gonna go out on top.
Yeah, you gotta go out on top. I'm gonna retire Ring of Honor World Champion and retire the belt. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that.
No.
This gets back to the boss. He's like, hey man,
we gotta talk. We gotta
talk, brother. Remember that year deal you just signed? Yeah, goodbye. No.
Well, just to wind it down then, Sledge, you kind of touched on it now, some of your plans, but I'd love to hear what going forward. That is a big jug of water. Wow. Going forward, though, what can we expect for the future of Sledge?
I'm going to try to make myself as relevant as possible in the Ring of Honor brand. Whether it's doing this, like talking, whether it's doing wrestling, whether it's doing whatever, I'm going to make myself the biggest star in Ring of Honor where I can't be denied. And everybody wants to, number one, face me or be like me. And that's going to happen in the next couple of years. I will be the biggest thing in Ring of Honor in the next couple of years. Mark my words.
Absolutely. I just got a couple quick ones for you, Sledge, before we let you go today. How cool.
You're not going to ask me like what my favorite cheat meal is.
No. I'm going to go a little bit on the different side there. And you got the chance to sit down with one of the biggest stars in the history of professional wrestling. How cool was it getting to hang out with Stone Cold Steve Austin? And did he give you some good advice going forward?
Who's that?
Who? What?
What? I literally just tweeted something because I'm a huge fan of Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
And I listen to Pat McAfee's show. If you listen to the way he talks and articulates things, it's just an amazing tool to learn is how to talk and articulate. But he just did something with JJ Watt. And he's like, what? He would say something, and then instead of them saying what, they would say what. Anyway, Steve is great. Out of nowhere, that really helped launch me into, being an indie darling, was doing the Steve Austin's podcast. I came out of nowhere, wasn't expecting to do it. And it was, I still talk to him to this day.
Oh, nice.
Do you really keep in touch with Stone Cold? That's so cool.
Yeah. You want me to show you some text?
Yeah.
We heard the theme.
I mean, he's hanging on my wall, like right here, I still, about once a month, we text back and forth, give or take, hey, how's it going? Good. You doing good, kid? When I signed my Ring of Honor deal, he's like, hell yeah, kid. And he gave me some great advice before my Ring of Honor tryout, which was absolutely fantastic. And yeah, man, he's just a good soul. He's a really good dude.
You can give us his number off air. Don't worry. We don't want to put his number out there. Well,
actually, here's his address. It's 360 Dimmick Street.
So the last question I've got for you here, and I don't know if Jonah's got any after this, but you're in Ring of Honor now. We just saw your TV debut. Obviously, the goal is the World Heavyweight Championship. Who are some of the guys that you're looking forward to get into the ring with on the roster right now?
All of them. Sums it up easy. All of them. There's not a guy on that roster right now that I do not want to step in the ring with. All the heavyweights, give them to me. Brody King, Shane T, Roosh, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, Vincent, Bateman. Me and Bateman have a history, but it's just, you name it, man. Those, like I said, man, I'm swimming with freaking sharks. EC3.
Yeah, newly signed.
Right.
EC3. That's right.
Just announced today that he re-signed with us. Maybe I'll see if he can control my narrative or not. Who knows? Everybody. There's not a guy on the roster I do not want to face.
And listen to the names you just named there. Like Ring of Honor's got one of the most stacked rosters. I think they've really been building momentum up since coming back with the Pure Title Tournament. The weekly shows have been fantastic, and having you on board is going to be a great addition.
We have the best wrestling product, bar none, on television today. Hard-hitting, smash mouth, professional wrestling.
Yeah.
No hokey shit.
Well, that's right. You guys are doing it on your own too. You look at what else is going on in the world of wrestling. Everyone's working together right now. You got AEW, Impact, New Japan, and you guys are still making a name for yourself, even without being involved in any of that stuff. And I think that's a real credit to the in-ring product you guys are putting out there.
I agree. Absolutely. And a lot of people have asked me on podcasts, do you see Ring of Honor having a working relationship with any of those companies? And my answer is, why would we?
Yeah, I agree with that.
We have the best product in the world. Why would we?
Mm-hmm.
With the best wrestlers in the world.
Yeah.
Best booking, the best production, the best everything. Have you seen our newest stuff after coming out of the pandemic? It's top-notch stuff, man. I get excited to watch it, and I'm not even like on the screen watching, and I get excited to watch.
Right. Oh, that's awesome.
And that doesn't happen to me when I'm watching the other companies. I don't get excited. I'm just like, all right, they're doing the same stuff over and over again. Great. Tackle. Oh, the guy takes the powder. Oh, great. Look, he's waiting for a dive spot. All that stuff. Like, I don't get excited over that stuff, man. But when Ring of Honor, when I'm just like, oh, dang, they're going to do like a pure, they're going to do, I think that next TV, I don't know when this airs, but the next TV is going to be Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham versus Kenny King and Dragon Lee in a pure rules tag team match for the tag team titles.
Yeah.
That's exciting to me. Because you know that's going to be hard-hitting, smash-mouth wrestling by 4 of the best in the world. It's just, I'm getting excited just sitting here. And then you have Shane Taylor versus Roosh.
Yeah.
Shane Taylor versus Roosh. Are you
awesome? That's going to be awesome.
The energy. I love it. I love it so much.
2 guys that literally will stand in front of each other and knock the shit out of each other. Yeah, I'm excited about that.
How can you not be? You know what I mean?
Sign me up right now.
Take my money. Take my money now.
Take it.
Take it all.
Where's my wallet? And just, I'm happy to be in the mix with those guys like that, man. It's just, hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, Tyler, did you have any more final thoughts before we?
I'm just pumped up, man. I want to go as soon as we wrap this up and fire up some Ring of Honor, play some Metallica in the background, maybe.
Let's go.
You know, you got me pumped up the rest of my day now.
Let's go.
Same.
Come on.
Energy radiating off of you. Well, Sledge, thank you so much for coming on the show. That finishes us off, for this episode. And check out Ring of Honor. Check out Sledge. We'll put everything in the description box below.
Peace.